This is the Slow Wardrobe. Come and have a look. Welcome to episode 113 of the Slow Wardrobe podcast. My name is Linda. I am in this podcast going to show you an update of what I've been up to in terms of my knitting and crochet, wearing part of it. Oh, forgot my crochet scarf. Mind you, you've seen that so often now. My Bohemian Rhapsody. Anyway, knitting and crochet followed by Layercake, the introduction of the new dress, the gather dress, styled in lots of different ways with lots of different colors and hopefully inspiring you to see one in your wardrobe. But before we start with that, let's update you on what I've been knitting and crocheting in the last 2 weeks. Knitting and crochet. Well, I finished the Bohemian Rhapsody. I already did that last time. And I am now wearing my jumper. I've been wearing it virtually non-stop because one of the things I discovered was that combination of holding a strand of linen together with a strand of Fiber Spades Cumulus ends up creating a garment that is very soft, very snuggly, but structured at the same time and not too warm for me to wear. It is not as insulating as a full wool jumper is. So with its loose shape, its wide 3/4 length sleeves, its open neckline, and its flowy feel, it's perfect for this in-between weather. And the words weather and perfect in the same sentence don't do too well for me at the moment. I am heartily sick of the murky weather that we keep having here in the south of England. The last number of weeks is just grey. It's wet most days and there's just no sunshine around. In fact, I was joking the other day on Instagram that I don't even recognize when I see a ray of sunshine what it is. Like, oh my gosh, what is that? Somebody helpfully pointed out to me that it was sunshine. So, finished my jumper. It is based on is it called the Igawa? I keep forgetting this. By Junko Okamoto. I'll put the name down here. Because I probably don't pronounce it correctly. I started the jumper following that pattern, but after that I kind of did my own thing, and I ended up, because it's top down, of course you can modify as you go, and I've ended up with a jumper that I'm very happy with. Shorter in the front, longer in the back, just the way I like it. Nice and roomy and flowy, and with a very different sleeve because the sleeves on the original jumper are much tighter and I'm not very keen on tight sleeves. So I can heartily recommend this combination of holding a strand of linen and cumulus together. Both of them run 600 meters per 100 grams. So what you end up with if you hold both together is 300 meters per 100 grams, which is, you know, towards it's a sport weight really. It's kind of in between a fingering and a DK, so sport weight I would call it. And I knitted this on a 3.75 millimeter needle and ended up with a lovely fabric. You don't really have to block it in the sense of wetting it and stretching it. You can just block it by putting a hot steam iron on top, and especially the linen loves a hot steam iron, so it's very easy once you're done. What I did notice, even though I stuck to the original pattern, was that the neckline was very, very wide. You can see that it's still quite wide, and it's supposed to be, but it was so wide on me that it almost fell off one of my shoulder, and I'm not the type to wear off the shoulder tops. Not really my style. So what I've done is taken a piece of ribbon, some of Maggie's glorious ribbon from Textile Garden. It's a Hope, Joy, Love ribbon, which I thought was very apt. I cut that to the length that I wanted the width of this neckline to be, and then hand sewed it in. So that now doesn't stretch anymore, it stays in place, and it's the width that I want. And I had a tiny piece of the ribbon left with the words joy and hope. So I've cut out the word joy and put it here in the front. Somehow it's a quirky little detail and I love it. So jumper done, and on to the next thing. And that next thing was, well, there's more than one next thing. First of all, I was keen to knit a new sample of the Jagga shawl or scarf that I have in a red to black gradient, always on the stand. I'll show you a photograph of it here. So that's the original sample, and it's just one of the many gradients that I have in linen, 4 different colors, 25 grams of each in a set of 100 grams. I've got one lying here. This happens to be the mauve set, so that goes from a dark mauve to black. And I have some new gradients coming out. One of them hanging right here, because I've already finished the Jagga, is not a long, arduous knit. It's knit from one end to the other, all in garter stitch. So it's a little bit like the Suppler scarf that I'll show a picture of here as well, which is knitted with a bigger set. This is the Cottage Garden set. It's got 7 hanks of 25 grams in it, and it is the colorway in which the sample is knitted. There's 3 colorways of this. So that's another example of, it's a much longer scarf. It's really a really nice accessory, almost a piece of jewelry to finish off your outfit. And that's the intention with this as well. Great for the summer months, of course, because it's linen, so it's not going to be too warm around your neck, but it's a lovely accessory to finish off your outfit. And to give you an idea of its shape, like I said, you start at literally at one point at one end, and then the finished shape has got all these different points and angles to it. And as you can see, when I hold it a little bit closer like this, it runs from like a duck egg blue to an eau de Nil. So it's a very subtle gradient going from one color gradually to the other. And this pattern, of course, is a lovely pattern to show off a gradient like this. So that's ready to take to Wonderwool with me, because I'm doing Wonderwool at the end of April in Wales, in Builth-Wells. I hope to see you there. I've got my stand in its regular place, K1, and I'm also bringing lots of yarns that I'm selling out, that I'm going to stop carrying. My dyer has gone completely off grid. I've had no contact with her for almost a year, so she won't be able to dye new yarns for me. And my plan was already to focus more on the linen. So the linen yarn is going to be the mainstay, and the other yarns are gradually disappearing. A little bit faster at Wonderwool, where I'll have them displayed and I'll have some lovely deals going. So, but I'm running ahead of reality. The main reason, though, that I'm talking about Wonderwool is that I was ensuring that I have a couple of new samples, especially in the linen, ready for that show in some of the new gradients. So Jagga was one item that I knocked out in the past 2 weeks, and I am almost there and knocking out another one, which is a sock, a pair of socks, obviously. Ultimately, I've just turned the heel here, that I started quite a while ago knitting for my husband. This is a Garthenor yarn. It's a Garthenor sock yarn. I will put the name of it down below. I've started knitting these a long time ago, and I just dropped out of the sock knitting kind of stream that I was in then, and didn't want to touch any socks anymore. And even when I restarted knitting this, because I was halfway down the, where was I? No, I had just turned the first heel of the first sock and left it there. So when I picked this up again, just knitting the second part of this first sock felt like hard work. I really had to push myself to get back into the swing of things, but I have. And once I've got my sock knitting mojo back, I go quite fast. So it took me, I think, 3 evenings to get through the first half of this sock, and another 2 evenings, and the sock will be finished. So you'll finally have his pair of socks, and I think I've got 1 or 2 other pairs on the go that I've got lying around in my craft room. So I will push myself to pick those up and to finish those as well, because they've been languishing for a long time. The reason that I'm doing that is that I will be knitting those socks while sitting downstairs and relaxing, or watching some TV, listening to some music. Whereas when I am doing some more very dedicated crafting, where I really have to pay attention to what I'm doing, I'm working on my Tessellation Nation crochet blanket. I will show again a photograph of the sample blanket that the leader of the course, the teacher of the course, Sue Maton from the Mercery, has crocheted as an example. The course is centered around doing lots and lots of teachings about color and use of color and combination of color. It went very, very deep, really into color theory, which I enjoyed the theory bit. The practice bit, though, where we did lots and lots of mixing of paints and painting of little bits of cardboard and whatever, and did a color wheel and whatever, I didn't enjoy that at all, I must admit. Now that's just something that I had no idea I wasn't going to enjoy that. I just didn't as it came to it. So when it came to working on a color palette for my blanket, whatever color combinations I was coming up with wasn't really lighting my candle. What I had done was to create a color chart of all 65 colors of Scheepjes Terrazzo, which is the yarn that I'm working with, and it's one of the yarns that Sue recommended. When I saw that rather than any acrylic content, which a lot of crochet yarns seem to have, acrylic content was not present. This is recycled mulesing-free merino with a viscose nep, and it's got a wonderful feel. It almost feels cotton-like. I really liked the look of it. They sell, it's possible to buy a sample set with little, I think 5-gram ball of all 65 colors. So I immediately bought a sample set and made this color chart. So that's really great reference when you're working and putting colors together. So that was very useful. That was all in the run-up to finding a way to create my own color palette for my own blanket. And it was right at the end of the sections of the course that were about color, where one of Sue's suggestions was to gather different pictures that have color combinations and color stories in them that you like, and using that as a starting point. And that really did it for me. That lit my candle. So I created a color board on Pinterest with lots of different color combinations and photographs and pictures and paintings of color stories that I really liked. And the more I put on there, the clearer the palette that I was very clearly leaning into started to come out, started to emerge. I had also received a bunch of flowers from my kids for Mother's Day, and there were a couple of sunflowers in that, and I'm a big lover of sunflowers. And yellow and oranges were definitely very prevalent in the color stories that I had picked. So when I started looking in the direction of sunflowers, that became even stronger. So I ended up with a couple of paintings, couple of different paintings. I'll show them here, that both have the color stories in them that I was leaning into, and those two paintings end up being the main inspiration for the blanket color choices that I've made. I'm starting with, I think it's 30 colors that I've selected and that I've started crocheting with. And apart from a couple of samples that I crocheted to get familiar with the shapes that are not in the right color palette, I have already now crocheted some shapes that will make it into the blanket. This is the kind of color palette that I'm working towards. Sunflowers, as you can see. There's this one, and then in the background are going to be much darker colors. So it's not all orange and yellow. I also have this kind of stuff going on in the background. So there are going to be shapes that are going to jump out more and look like they're more in the foreground with the brighter colors, and then I have more muted darker shades that are going to be in the background and around the edges. So as you can see, it doesn't look like much yet, but I'm following the instructions from Sue as to how to slowly start building up my collection of different shapes. The shapes that we're crocheting are still being released, so I'm gradually crocheting more, and I'm going to be able to start piecing together the layout of the blanket that I like. And I will keep you posted on how I go with that. It's going to be a multi-month project, I'm sure, although I must say I'm really enjoying it. So it's very often that I sit down to have some breakfast and quickly crochet a couple of these little pentagons, because it's all pentagons, a couple of little pentagons before I go off to the studio for my day's work. So I'll keep you posted with that, and I have not lined up any other knits yet on purpose, because I think if I do, then I won't finish the socks that I've got lined up that I really want to finish first. So I am not allowing myself to even think beyond finishing the socks that I'm working on, and working on my Tessellation Nation. And possibly another sample or so for Wonderwool if I can squeeze it in. It was quite fun to bash this out in whatever the best part of a week or whatever it was. So that might derail my sock knitting a little bit if I squeeze in another sample. But apart from that, that's it. I'm sticking with my blanket and my socks for now. And I'll update you in 2 weeks to let you know where I've gotten to with both projects, or both strands of projects, socks and my blanket. Until then though, the first thing on our list now is to dive into Layercake and to let me entertain you with some styling of the gathered dress. Enjoy. Ta-da! I thought let's start with the exciting fabric first. Not that the others aren't exciting, but this is such a departure from the regular cross-weave linens that you are all used to. This is a damask, which is a type of weaving with different colors of linen in it. Of course, it's all pre-dyed yarn that is then woven into a fabric. This is a size 1 long in our new gather dress. I think I'm gonna live in this dress all summer. They are so comfy. Of course, they have the top that you recognize from the Love top, the Love tunic, and the Love dress. But then they have a gathered empire line. Manageable. You're not walking around in a complete tent, but it's very loose and very comfortable and wonderful for a dress that will take you through spring into summer. And there have already been some rumors, people saying, will you do a sleeveless summer version of this? Well, we'll see how popular this dress is. If it is, then it's definitely on the cards. So watch this space, but let's start with this dress that you can pretty much wear year round. Of course, I will start layering it in a minute, but I thought I will show this colorway first without any other layer cakes. So a size 1 long, you'll see me in some size 2 regular, I think they are, and then 1 regular as well. I haven't got a petite length because that's not that representative on me anyway because of my height, and the idea is that this is a longer dress rather than a shorter dress, but of course you can wear it shorter if you want to, or if longer but a shorter dress if you have a shorter frame to cover. So going off on a tangent already, I'm pretty excited about this dress actually. So I've got the 5 colors that you may have seen already in the newsletter, and let's team them with some other colors and some other layer cakes to see how they fit into the collection. Here comes change number 1. I've picked up on some of the colors in the rust diamond. Now, of course, the word rust already says it. It's got like orangey red diamond shape in it, as well as brown stripes, as well as this beautiful damask weave, this beautiful kind of diamond type weave in a color that is very, very close, a dusky, soft dusky pink, very, very close to our own blush pink. So I looked for blush pink garments and realized that actually showing you one of the step tops in blush doesn't only show you how lovely it goes with that fabric, but also how well a step top goes with this dress. I still have, this is the small step top, the size 1 dress, and you can see that I still have access to the pockets. It's a really nice stepped layer to wear over the top of my gather dress, and of course because of the shorter front you can still see that it's a gathered dress, a gathered skirt if you like, underneath. And then I've teamed it with one of our new slackers, the long length slackers in brown, because of course brown is one of the colors in this fabric as well. So I thought I'll go kind of tonal and literally pick colors that are in the fabric of the dress already rather than contrast it. But I can pick any of those colors and zhuzh them up a little bit, give them a bit more emphasis by adding more of that color in the background. Here was just blush and brown as a complement, but what if I start pulling on that rust stripe, that rust diamond stripe? Let's see what happens then. So this is a sangria set, the sangria cocoon set of a pair of long large baggies and a size 1 love top, both in the sangria color. Lovely backdrop for this dress, and as you can see, even though strictly speaking when you see them next to each other, the sangria is a redder red, and the rust stripe, the rust little diamonds in this fabric go towards an orange rust, hence rust. But by putting those together, of course, it really highlights the stripes in the dress and pulls them in the red, into the red spectrum. So, of course, I can then fold them to show a little bit more rust or a bit more red at the sleeves, or I could go for a shorter dress, in which case you'd end up seeing more of the trousers. So it's the familiar way of playing with different colors and either complementing or contrasting with colors that are in the spectrum, either close by or right on the opposite of the spectrum. And I will show you with this outfit, just adding a completely different color on top and show you what happens to the entire outfit and how well this very, very different fabric fits in the Layercake lineup. Here it comes. A Jan jacket in teal wash with contrasting cuffs in deep sea. Well, I pretty much can't get further away from the rest of the outfit, but doesn't that look great? Just a contrast. any contrast. And because it's all linen and because of the shaping of the garments, they just look great together as an outfit. Back to the point of you can almost close your eyes and grab a couple of layer cakes from your wardrobe, wear them together and be surprised at how well they go together, which is why I'm also always encouraging you to play with your wardrobe and play with putting different outfits together, see how well they go and come up with new color combinations. So speaking of new combinations, I will keep this sangria set on, but wear it with a shorter a gather dress in the next color to show you a little bit more of the sangria peeping out of the bottom. Here it comes. Papaya, a cross weave of chartreuse and magenta. And as I look down the fabric, I see the soft pink glow of magenta, but the overall look of this fabric is of course a really nice dusky orange. Looks wonderful with the sangria as a backdrop. Very summery, very warm, very tropical colors. And this dress is not just a shorter dress, because this is the medium length rather than the long length, but it's also one size bigger. So this is the size 2. More roomy. The other one is a bit more fitted. The size 1 is a bit more fitted. As you know, I'm on the cusp between a size 1 and a size 2. So because my bust is not that big relatively to the rest of me, I can still fit into a size 1 dress with that dolman shaped sleeve. But if I want a more roomy fit altogether, then I would opt for a size 2. And compared to the love dress, you may find if you are on the cusp and you tend to size down in the love dress because of that curvy shape, that hourglass shape, that tulip shape of the skirt, you may feel differently about the gather dress, in the sense that because the bottom half of the dress is much wider and much more roomy, you may feel more comfortable in the gather dress in a bigger size than you would do in the equivalent love dress. So where with the love dress you think, well, actually with that shape, that curvy shape, I would like that to follow the shape of my body a bit more. Whereas with this you think, oh, I just want to be comfortable. I just want to have a loose dress on, especially when it gets warmer, or not be bothered what I wear underneath and it's showing anywhere. Then you might find that whereas a love dress in a size 1 may be your first choice for that particular dress, or a love dress in a size 2 if that's what you normally wear, then consider going up a size, go to a size 3 with your gather dress. If you're unsure, check the measurements on the website. I've done a fit guide for the gather dress specifically with more measurements. If that still confuses you or you want some more information, give me a shout. Of course, I'm happy to help. And if you end up ordering a size that you're not happy with and you want to change it, then of course we will change it. No problem. You can exchange them. Pre-orders are not final sales. You can always exchange a pre-order if the size or the color or the length isn't right for you. If you can avoid that though, that will help me tremendously, but it's not a problem if you need to exchange or return. So papaya in a size 2 regular. And I'm going to show that with a duster. I think it's a long duster, just to show you what the dusters that of course we are in the process of making for you after our recent pre-order. I thought I might as well mix some of those dusters in to show you how they go with the gather dresses. So here comes a long duster in hay. With the heat and the warmth of both the sangria and the papaya colors as part of the outfit, it's quite nice to slightly cool it down with the more pale yellow of hay. As you may remember, hay is a cross weave of natural undyed linen and chartreuse. So of course, hay and papaya have a color in common, and as a result, they absolutely sing together. They love each other to bits, and so do I. I am in love with hay. I think it's a wonderful color, and just that slight softness compared to the full-on chartreuse, I think is a really nice alternative. This is a duster with tie. So just to be complete, I will tie this closed so you see what a closed duster and a closed gather dress do together. As you know, the dusters do not have any pockets. So when I close it, of course, I have to dig for my pockets underneath in my dress. But here is a long duster with a medium length gather dress. Let me add a different color duster and see how different this outfit looks by just changing that duster color and leaving everything else the same. Here it comes. Keeping the duster long, but in the mixed spice in this case, another duster with ties. And just to show you the beautiful warm colors of mixed spice together with papaya and the sangria underneath. Let's keep going. I'm going to move to the third color in this dress lineup. I'm going to try and move through them relatively quickly this time so as not to put you through the through the terror of having to sit for 45 minutes before you've seen all 5 colors. I'll try and keep the tempo up. So here comes Magpie. Magpie gather dress in size 1 long, worn together with the mixed spice duster, the long mixed spice duster. Of course, mixed spice and Magpie have a color in common, which is that bluey green dark ink color that runs through mixed spice together with like a soft tobacco color, and it runs with black in the Magpie cross weave. So of course, with that color in common, Magpie and mixed spice absolutely love each other, which you can see in this outfit. Bit darker in color. It's not all light and springy and summery. Some of us prefer to wear darker colors throughout the year, and therefore I thought I'll show you the Magpie with the mixed spice duster. But here's the Magpie dress on its own by itself without any other layer cakes. And of course I took off the sangria set, which looks great underneath the Magpie dress, as do the other colors. So another lovely combination would be to have the turmeric baggies of the cocoon to wear underneath this dress, then have the dress, and then have the mixed spice duster picking up on that color in the turmeric baggies. A really nice combination of colors, but of course I can do that in lots of different directions, so I'm trying to keep it simple. What I'll show you next is some other colors that Magpie really goes well with, moving away from that tobacco corner. Here it comes. Taking it in a different direction, like I said, this is the teal love top, the teal cocoon love top worn underneath the gathered dress. And as you can see, it just adds a little pop of color, just kind of livens up the whole outfit, as well as add an extra little layer just when it's more cool like it is still now. Then adding a layer like this very effortlessly and very easily livens up the dress with that little contrast. Or I can just say, no, I'm not going to highlight that. I'm just going to have that little edge right here at the top and let the dress do the rest of the talking as you wish. And the next thing I'm going to show you is to add one of the tunics on top of a gather dress to show you what that does with the look of the dress and how it moves. Here it comes. This is a peacock smock worn over the top of my gather dress in a Magpie. And of course, peacock is a cross weave of teal and apple green. And of course, teal is also the color of the cocoon top that I'm still wearing underneath. So they kind of reinforce each other, makes for a lovely outfit. And as you can see, the whole outfit ends up being pulled together into a different silhouette with the smock. but then you have the flounce of the skirt at the bottom, the wider skirt at the bottom that still peeps out from underneath the smock. So let's keep going. I am going to simplify this outfit yet again, take the teal away and show you what the magpie dress looks like with a duster in the large nude check. I have added the large nude check in a medium length, the duster, as you can see, over my size 1 long gather dress, and I've also popped underneath one of the grey cocoon baggies, which of course picks up on the neutrals in the large nude check. Of course I could leave the baggies off, but I'm trying to, as I always do, try to cram in as much as possible, showing you lots of different outfits. And did you see me go for my non-existing pockets? Tried to put my hands in my pockets and forgot that I was wearing a duster. So, but of course the duster is thrown to the side most easily to get to my pockets again. Let's keep going, and I will keep this outfit on again and introduce the next color of the dresses, Teal Sky. This is a shorter dress in bigger size again, a size 2 regular in the Teal Sky dress, and again a maybe unexpected combination with the large nude check. I think these are lovely together, and then of course that neutral in the large nude check emulated back in the cocoon baggies, the grey cocoon baggies. But let's try and play with a little bit more in the blue sphere. I just wanted to show you how these two go together. But how about that jam jacket that I wore, which is also teal sky? So we go teal sky on teal sky with two very different shapes. What does that look like? Teal sky jam jacket and teal sky gather dress. Another lovely combination, even though those shapes are very different from each other. Of course, they go together beautifully. Close the jacket, have the lovely flounce of the dress peep out from under it, and of course this jacket does have pockets in the side seams, lovely pockets, and they sit of course on the top of the pockets of your dress, but that's not a problem at all. The pockets are not voluminous in the side seams of the jam jacket. And of course I can also wear it open like I just did before, and then I can have the dark teal of the deep sea color in the contrast here influence me and inspire me to wear a different pair of trousers underneath. So I could go for baggies in deep sea, for example, or herringbone baggies in teal. So you can pick and choose where you find your inspiration and how you allow that to lead you in a different direction for the combination of garments that you already have in your wardrobe. I hope I give you lots of ideas in that respect. But let's keep going with the blue, because one thing that I haven't shown you yet is one of the Synergy dusters, and of course blue cables. I've got a Synergy duster in blue cables, so I'm going to show you that with the teal sky dress next. A long Synergy duster in blue cable, which of course is a very interesting weave. It's not a cross weave, but it's a combination of a really nice dusty blue and undyed linen. So as a result, of course, it goes beautifully with the grey cotton of the cocoon baggies, which is one of the reasons I kept it on. But you can also see that if you keep everything in the same corner in terms of colors, they all go together really well, and you can see the effect of a Synergy duster, the drama of a Synergy duster, the sweep and swoop of a Synergy duster worn together with a gather dress. Now, I'll also show you that Synergy duster a bit shorter because this is the long one. But what if you don't like acres of fabric, but you do want a bit of the drama and the look of the different sleeves? Here comes the medium length Synergy. Different proportions, but no less effective. A medium length Synergy over the top of a regular length gather dress together with my cocoon baggies. So if you are a short dress, petite length dress wearer, and you would go for a petite length in the gather dress, then you can get very close to the silhouette that I was showing you with the medium length dress and the long duster by going for a petite length dress and a medium length duster. Synergy or no Synergy. So that's that length. Let's move on to the next color, the last color in the lineup of 5 colors of gather dresses, because of course there's one left still, Chartreuse. Chartreuse gather dress, size 1 regular, so I've gone down in size, but I haven't gone longer. Size 1 regular, worn with the medium length Synergy duster in blue cable and the neutral, natural grey color of the cocoon baggies. So the rest of the outfit really tones down the brightness of the Chartreuse, but it's still very much there. So of course we can go in the other direction. We can add more colors to the Chartreuse to liven it up and see how we can combine that with the rest of the range. Here comes the first example. Baggies in blackcurrant and a mini tabard in the small check. Look at that combination. The gathers of the dress peeping out from below the mini tabard. Both the dress and the mini tabard are size 1. So if you want to recreate this look, then make sure that the dress and the mini tabard are the same size, because of course in terms of the length and where the seams combine and where they sit relative to each other, they line up beautifully. So as you can see, is only about an inch or so above the edge of the mini tabard is the gather of the dress. So in terms of how they peep out, it's just beautiful because of that mini tabard having that slighted, waisted and fluted look, and then having that full skirt come out underneath. I think very effective. And many of you, of course, already have mini tabards that you'll just be able to throw on over the top of your gather dress to add a different look and create more interest in the overall effect. And then go either in complementary colors or contrasting colors if you like the idea of wearing some trousers underneath. Of course, you can leave the trousers off as well, depending on what you prefer. Or even wear a long skirt underneath your dress. That could be very effective too. As per usual, the possibilities are endless. The one thing that I want to finish on is to again show you an example of how a Chartreuse cross weave with natural can kind of tone down the Chartreuse, keep it all very fresh and spring-like, but not quite as dominant as it is in an outfit as this. Here it comes. Where earlier on I was showing you the jam jacket, I thought with this dress I just have to show you also the joy jacket. I'm wearing it here in the Chartreuse herringbone, but then of course I have the natural undyed linen on the other side. So I thought rather than putting the Chartreuse side on the outside, I will put the natural linen color on the outside. It's always hanging the other way around on the hanger, so there we are. I have to push it down a little bit to get the lapel to lie the way I want it to, but of course it'll comply. It has been made that way. So I thought, well, I can then wear that again with the grey cocoon baggies because they are so close to the undyed natural linen color. And as a combination, I think it's a wonderful one, just very neutral, very calm, even though the dress color that I'm wearing is quite bright. So I hope I have inspired you to see a possibility for a gather dress in your wardrobe at some point. And of course the pre-order runs until the end of Monday. Where are we then? The 25th of March. And after that, the gather dresses will still be available. It's just that right now we've got that discount because we're pushing a little production order through based on what you're ordering from us. But after the 25th of March, the gather dresses are still going to be around. It's just without that extra little discount. So any questions, any comments, let me know. I will be looking an eye on my emails throughout the weekend to make sure that I answer any questions well before the pre-order closes. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll see you again soon.